Hey y'all, it's Tammy with Collard Valley Cooks. Today we're going to make beanie weenies, macaroni and cheese, and green beans. It's all from the Dollar Tree. Let's get started.
Sit right back, the time is now. Tammy's gonna show you how to cook it up like Mama used to do.
Hey y'all, it's Tammy with Collard Valley Cooks, and today I am going to make one of our Dollar Tree menus. Several weeks ago I went to the Dollar Tree and I picked up things that I thought would be an affordable supper for a family. And so I got 3 cans of beanie weenies, Beans and Franks is what they're called. And I got a large can of Vienna Bites, a tomato soup, 2 cans of green beans, and then some mac and cheese. So we're gonna put this together tonight. I'm gonna spruce this up with a little onion and pepper and a few spices, and we're gonna have a good supper for a family. So we're gonna get started. We're gonna chop up some pepper and some onion to go in our dish just to make it a little bit tastier. I gotta look to see how many seeds these things have in them. They don't have many, so I can chop them all the way down to almost the end and it'd be all right. So you can use a regular bell pepper, you can use frozen chopped bell pepper, you can use jalapenos, whatever your family likes to give it some flavor, but the pepper really will add a lot to it. If you've got roasted red peppers in the pantry or whatever you've got is what you need to use. And I know we've got jalapenos coming out of the garden right now. You could also use those. So I'm just going to chop these up, and this is a kid-friendly meal. If for some reason your kids don't like the peppers, of course don't do this step. But if you cook it for a few minutes, maybe they won't even realize they're in there if you chop them small enough and saute them until they're good and soft. We're going to scoot that over. And then we've got us a onion, and this is a Vidalia onion because they're in season right now. We're going to chop it up as well to go in our beans and weenies. Now, if for some reason you can't afford these fresh veggies, if you've got some onion powder or garlic powder, garlic salt, just remember if you're using onion or garlic salt that you use it sparingly, because these canned things that we're using already has a good bit of sodium in them. And you're just going to chop that up. All right, we're going to saute these onions and these peppers until they're nice and soft. We're just going to make our beans in this skillet. This is a 3-inch cast iron skillet. Now you're going to want to get these pretty soft because you want them to kind of disappear in this a little bit for the kids. We're going to be making some mac and cheese, which you may just want to mix it all together, but I personally would serve it separately. All right, we're going to start adding our canned items. So you've got 3 cans of Beans and Franks, and we got these at the dollar store, Dollar Tree. They were $1 a piece. If you've got a bunch of hungry kids, you got to feed them something. Looks good already. All right, those Beans and Franks have a smoky flavor in them. I picked up some tomato soup that you can use if you want this to go further for your family, you can always pour this tomato soup in there. I'm only going to add about half of it, because that's a lot. It'll help thicken it as well. Now, if you've got another can of beans or something you want to put in there, you can. But we're going to have some green beans with it, and we're going to have mac and cheese. So you're just going to turn this down on a low temperature. Now, if you want to, you can always add a little ketchup and mustard, a little barbecue sauce to it. But I'm going to be honest with you, it tastes pretty doggone good. Yes, I really think it does. The Cook. And it come right out of a can, but it is good old Campbell's, and Campbell's tomato soup, and Campbell's beans and franks. Now, if you're feeding a bunch of kids and you got some hot dogs, of course you can slice more of those and put in there. But I'm just showing you what we got at the dollar store, so that if you don't have the extra money, you can see that you could serve this up for supper easy with your kids and have mac and cheese and green beans, and it's going to be a super affordable meal. So we're going to see you in a few minutes when everything gets done, and we'll make us a plate. Now, I bought these Armor by Anabites, but I'm going to be honest with you, they're soggy and soft. And if I put those in those beans and franks, they're just going to disintegrate. And so I'm not putting them in there. Sorry about that one, but I just don't think it's going to work really good. I grabbed this stuff up, had a bright idea, so we're not going to use these in our supper. So that cuts off another $1, okay? I put 2 cans of green beans, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and 2 teaspoons of sugar. We're going to boil these all the way down until there's no liquid left in the pot. And then right over here, we're making our delicious mac and cheese. I'm bringing the water to a boil. And you can cook these down just like you would baked beans. Just make sure that you stir them and you don't let them stick and burn. That way they'll thicken a little bit. Now this is a fast supper. You can have this supper made. It's super fast. Just throw this stuff in the skillet, start your green beans and your mac and cheese. Your green beans are going to take the longest. They're going to take at least 20 minutes to boil all the way down and glaze like I want them to make them taste really good. You don't want to just warm them up and serve them. And if you do my recipe, this is going to be about a 20-minute supper. So if you don't do the green beans, of course you could have this supper made in the time it takes to make mac and cheese, because by the time I get my mac and cheese made, these beans and franks can be served. All right, I'll see you when we make us a plate. Lord, I mixed up my mac and cheese just like the package directions. And what we're gonna do is, because I made 2 boxes and me and Chris can't eat 2 boxes, I'm gonna show you what this meal would be like with mac and cheese as a side and mixed in with the mac and cheese. So we're gonna take half this mac and cheese out, serve it as a side, and then we're going to add half of our beanie weenies to this mac and cheese. So however you want to serve it to your kids is totally up to you. Hey, it's time to taste everything. I'm going to tell you if I like the mac and cheese beanie weenies or the beanie weenies and the mac and cheese separate the best. And remember, like I said, if you got some extra cheese, of course you can throw it in on these mac and cheese beanie weenies. That would be good. So we're going to start with this one first. This is the mac and cheese beanie weenie. And Chris just came in from fishing, so now he's got lunch. Really good. The kids are going to eat it for sure. I can guarantee you that. And this is just plain old Kraft macaroni and cheese. We all know it's good. Yum. I like the plain mac and cheese. All right. And then the beanie weenies. Franks and beans. However you call it. Yum. Yum. That might be a Dollar Tree meal, but I can guarantee you one thing, it's delicious. And these green beans are good because they're my recipe. As long as you cook them down till all that liquid's gone, let them sizzle for a minute, they're going to taste so good. Kind of mash them up a little bit, make them look like your mama made them. That is really good. Now, I would serve them separate, but if you're feeding a lot of kids, throw it all together, except the green beans, of course. Thanks so much for watching Collard Valley Cooks, where we cook with whatever we got to save a little bit of money. See you next time. Love ya. Bye.
Cooking time, it's over now. Tammy, she just showed you how to cook it up like Mama used
And we
to
thank
do.
you so much for shopping with Dollar Tree.